Right, let's go back to homegrown veg and have a look at this stuff. Let's see what we've got in this bag. Only a couple of weeks ago I started this experiment off, trying to grow potatoes in just forest bark and wood chip, and so I sowed one set in this pot, one set in this pot. This is Foremost and this is Sharps Express, and we half filled the pot with wood chip and forest bark and nothing else. So there's no fertiliser, no soil and no compost in there, just wood chip and forest bark. But I've been thinking about this experiment and I'm sure it's doomed to failure. It's doomed to failure because there's probably nothing in there for the potato to actually take in, to make it grow. The wood chip and forest bark isn't composted down. Basically all that's doing is supporting the seed potato, but the seed potato is bound to be looking for some nutrients, some fertiliser in there, and there isn't any. So I'm going to go back on my word now. I'm going to go back on what I said earlier. I am going to add some fertiliser to these pots, because I think if I don't, I'm not going to get a return, or a decent return. So let's have a look and see how these guys are doing after 2 weeks. Okay, I think it's 2 weeks. What's this one? Foremost. We'll do Foremost first. Whoa, what about that? Foremost has made an appearance. This is Foremost after a couple of weeks in wood chip and bark. Okay, we'll just pop that there and we'll have a look at Sharps Express, see what Sharps Express is doing. Well, I'll tilt these pots forward. I'm not too sure how you're seeing this. Hopefully you're seeing it quite well. That's Foremost. This is Sharps Express, and Sharps Express is just, if I move this wood chip and forest bark, I'm sure you'll see it. Yeah, you can't you? You can see that, surely. That's the growing tip of Sharps Express. So both potatoes have got away, but I'm going to top these 2 pots off now, because I know these potatoes are growing, with some more wood chip and forest bark. But I've added to this some bloodfish and bone, and I got some coffee grounds last week, some free coffee grounds. So I've never used that before, so I thought, well, why not? So there's bloodfish and bone and coffee grounds in this wood chip and forest bark, and we're just going to add it, basically. That's it. Couldn't be easier. And because it's very light, unlike some composts, it's not going to break this top growth off. It's just going to settle in round it very nicely. A bit like we're actually mulching it. I suppose we are, really, aren't we? So we'll fill this right up to the top. Now the reason I put these guys on at the time, 2 weeks ago there was a danger of frost. We were being forecast night frosts. They never actually materialised, and if they did, they weren't very severe. But I thought, well, if I put this pot on top, because the seed potato was in the mix, then it didn't need light. All it needed was temperature and dampness, and this was damp. This helped to keep the warmth in and keep the cold out, and so that's the reason it was on. But of course now the weather's warmed up, I can take these off and just stand these as they are. more on this one. Okay, so part 2 of the experiment. We'll see how they go. This is a first for me. My first ever reveal from Forrest bark and wood chip. We're going to do a 2-pot shootout today. This pot has 1 seed potato in it, and that's foremost. And the second pot we'll do is a pot with 1 seed potato in it, and that's Sharps Express. Should be able to tell looking at this that this potato is ready, starting to yellow up from the bottom. So we'll take the tops off and we'll drop foremost. Let's drop the pot, let's see what it's got. This is the Forrest bark and wood chip. As you can see, it's still Forrest bark and wood chip. It'll take a while for this stuff to compost down. But anyway, let's drop this pot. Well, we've got something. Look at this. We've got something, haven't we? Let's break this off, see what we've got. Yes. Well, Forrest bark and wood chip delivers. Oh, what about that? The old seed potato there, we'll get shot of that. Hey! Just leave that alone. Molly's decided she'll have a nosy about. No, you don't want that, Molly, that's the seed potato. Just hold on, we'll find one for you. Let's pop them up there. Let's shake this out. And as is traditional, we'll do a weigh in. And also, as is traditional, oh, we'll have a small one for Molly. There you go, love. Okay. Right. So what we'll do is... Hey! These guys like Forrest, but that's a worm, Moll. These guys like Forrest bark and wood chip. Okay. We'll leave him in because, as you know, where there's worms, there's good growing. Right, that's over £1. I'm guessing that's nearly £2. But we'll find out and put them on the scales. And so we don't get mixed up, foremost. There we go, Sharps Express. Same Forrest bark and wood chip. I'll put that ticket in there and put those potatoes in there. We won't get mixed up. First one. You can see that old seed potato there, rotten. I'll just get that out the way. Ugh. Stinky, stinky. Look out, Mom. You'll want one of these as well, dear Molly, a Sharps Express. You'll be able to tell me which you prefer. Sharps Express or Foremost. Whoa! Hey, Sharps Express is delivering, blimey! Just hold on. I'll just sneak this small one off for Molly. Where's it? Got it. I'll just have a fish through here just to make sure I haven't buried any up. I might have done. There's another small one. No, that's it. Right, let's have a look at these guys. Come on. Forrest bark wood chip. What do you think? That's over a pound. I'll bet that's over a pound. That's a meal for two, an accompaniment for a meal for two, easily. Hey, Amel. You're that one, sweetheart. Here, Rich. Good girl. Right. Sharps Express. Pop these in here. And we'll go and get the scales. Is that a deal? Oh, Sharps Express. And Foremost. You see them? I don't know whether you can or not. See if we can tilt them your way a bit. Oh, we want that on that side, you crackpot. How's that? That's tilted your way a bit. Right, leave them there, Mol, and we'll go and get the scales. Hold on, you wait there. I've had to move into the shade. We've got a bit of sun today. So I've had to move into the shade basically to try and get a better shot of these scales as we load them up. Okay, Foremost first. And while I'm doing this, there is something else I want to tell you about growing in forest bark and wood chip. What I've found is that the pot, when full, as compared to a pot that is full of compost, isn't half the weight, isn't quarter of the weight, it's probably an eighth of the weight of a pot full of compost. Okay, so if weight were an issue, if you had an issue with lifting pots, lifting bags, weight's an issue, then forest bark and wood chip is the lightest material I've ever used to grow anything in. You may want to consider that if you want to have a go at this. Well, there you go. Just over £2. Yep, just over £2. One set, forest bark and wood chip. And that was Foremost. Right, let's do Sharps Express. And the other thing you might like to consider, if you're gardening on a budget, forest bark and wood chip costs nothing. I went out and collected this. You must know somebody that's taking trees down, that's putting them through a shredder. They usually have a big pile of the stuff, don't they? I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Just ask them, can I have some of that? I'm a gardener, I want to use it in the garden. There we go. Oh yes, £1.50. That's a result. Forest bark and wood chip. I hope you've enjoyed this experiment. Growing potatoes in forest bark and wood chip. Can it be done? Of course it can. There's the proof. You've seen how I done it. There's no reason why you can't do it. And it costs virtually nothing to do. And if you've seen my experiment growing potatoes in seaweed and leaves, it costs nothing to do. Everything's free. Seaweed and leaves are free. Forest bark and wood chips free. Begs the question, why are we buying compost? Forest bark and wood chip, free, it works. Seaweed and leaves, free, it works. Why are we buying compost? This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.